Alright, what's up Savages? Ragnar with Savage Combatives. Today we wanted to do another budget training video for you guys. Even though we're going to focus a little bit more on the training than we are going to focus on the budget, but it's all going to make sense in the end. What inspired this is I just saw a video a couple days ago from John Lovell, tactical guy. I watch a lot of his videos. He puts out some good stuff, and this one particular video he put out said stop buying guns, stop buying more guns, something like that. And so I had an idea of where I thought the video was going to go, and it turns out it ended up just kind of being a Glock commercial, which isn't bad. Glock's good. In fact, we're going to feature a lot of Glocks here today. But there's a couple points in the video that I liked that he said that I wanted to point out, and then I kind of wanted to change some things and add some things. In addition to that, about a week and a half ago, we had a discussion in the Real Everyday Carry, which is a Facebook group that we kind of help manage. And there were some comments in there. Now, the thread didn't go super great, but there were some really good comments in there that I want to share with you guys as well. So one of the things that was in the video was John says that he's not a gun collector. There are gun collectors out there, and that's fine if you want to be a gun collector, and we agree with that as well. Fenris, when he first started kind of getting into this and whatnot, he had some guns that he inherited already, and then he was really interested in guns and the different moving parts of guns and the new features that come out and stuff like that, and he got into gunsmithing and armory stuff, and so he went out and collected a bunch of guns. And then years later he started to get into the Magpul series and started to get some tactical training and kind of moved a little bit more into the tactical realm, but I mean, he still enjoys guns. So there were some comments made on our Real Everyday Carry group where a guy who was clearly a gun collector was kind of knocked a little bit for being a gun collector. And you know what, man, if you guys want to go out and collect guns, more power to you. That's awesome. You guys are exercising your rights. You're going out and buying guns, and as long as you're doing everything legally, we think that's great. One of the comments, I think, and I have the comments here, one of the comments that was posted, I thought was a good comment, in large part, but some of it I disagreed with. So a lot of these comments that I'm going to be reading off are from our friends over at Integrated Skills Group, ISG. This one's from Aaron. He said, honestly, there's only so much time in the day to correct stuff like this, whatever it is they were correcting or talking about. But if you invested more money into developing skill and experience, you'd be able to answer this on your own. So one of the things I want to point out is a lot of people that want to get started in the industry, or you have some extra funds on you, or maybe you don't have any extra funds on you, and that gets addressed in here as well. They're going out and buying gun after gun after gun after gun. Sometimes they're putting them on credit cards and so on and so forth. So what you end up with are a bunch of tools, because that's really what a firearm is. It's a bunch of tools that you're not competent using. So if you're a gun collector, though, that's fine, be a gun collector. But if the whole purpose of what you're doing is everyday carry and wanting personal protection, protecting your family, starting to get into a little bit more of the tactical mindset, then going out and collecting a bunch of different guns doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you're ignoring other things like getting better equipment, something that's going to be suitable for you, that's comfortable, something that you want to wear, something that you're going to wear long term, or if you're in a tough situation that's not going to be uncomfortable for you, and going out and spending that money on that training. So a couple of these other comments I'll go into here. So one of the guys was responding like, well, I don't carry a gun every day, you know. And so somebody responded, Aaron responded, well, take up golf then, because guns aren't amusement. They're serious business and should be treated as such. Now, I'm going to kind of knock Aaron a little bit here. I've never personally told somebody, well, hey, go ahead and take up golf. If you don't like what I'm saying to you and you don't like my mindset or my view on things, then you shouldn't be shooting, take up golf. I've never said that to somebody before, and I haven't had an opportunity to sit down with Aaron face to face or have a telephone conversation with him and kind of ask him the specifics of that. He said guns aren't amusement. Well, the fact of the matter is, guns are amusement for a lot of people. Now, I'm going to skip forward a little bit. They are serious business. Aaron is dead on 100% right. Guns are serious business, and they should be treated like serious business. But there are probably overwhelming majority of people who go out and shoot recreationally, or they collect guns and they might get that really new gun that they like and they baby it and they might only put 50 rounds through it every couple of months. And they're amusement shooters. They like target shooting, but they don't take target shooting necessarily that seriously. They go out, in the desert with their buddies, and that is okay. That should be fine. If we want to kind of express our opinions to these people and try and get them thinking more tactically, I think there's probably a better approach about doing that than saying, oh, hey, just take up golf. Or, you shouldn't be doing this anyways. But that being said, I understood where Aaron was coming from. Aaron's a military guy, and he takes his training and what he's doing very seriously. And you know what? The fact of the matter is, guns aren't toys, they're tools. And I think that's what he was trying to say. Also, John in his video compared guns to hammers, and that they're all just tools, and they hold a particular function. He says some other things here that I like. He even reiterates to him that the guy does not have to get his approval. He's just trying to give him the basic facts from mentality, material quality, integrity, physics, and so I think that's good. And he even goes on to reiterate, man, I'm not trying to dogpile on you. We're not trying to beat you up or anything like that. He posts a link to his article, which is a decent, I like all of his articles that Aaron puts out, so if you have an opportunity to head over to Integrated Skills Group, we'll put their link here. You can check out some of their articles. And he says that once you're informed, hopefully we as men in general will choose to be more. And that's really all that he was trying to do, was inform the guy. And the guy that he was talking to is a great guy. He posts in the Real Everyday Carry on a regular basis. He has a huge collection, and that's what he enjoys doing. And that's fine. I think there was maybe a kind of a cross communication that was going on there. But, okay, so Aaron brings up this thing that I really like, and I'm going to share it with you guys right now. He said what you have to consider as a citizen, and this is all you guys as citizens, not law enforcement officers, just your regular average, every Joe citizen. You have the most complicated problem set of any of the spheres of violence, and I 100% agree with him. You have no backup, no union, no legal representation, no standardized training, and you face civil and criminal charges if you're involved in a shoot. So if you carry a gun, you're expressing your rights, and that's great, but you're also accepting responsibility. And at the end, he says, hopefully you'll reconsider your position. And I think that's pretty much kind of how he ended that conversation. And I 100% agree with him. So one of the things that, if I can express to you guys that are watching this, as civilians, guys, you have a lot of responsibility if you're carrying that firearm, and you do not have the protection a law enforcement officer has. And you probably don't even have as much protection as a security guard, armed guard has in performing their jobs. All right, so I've talked a little bit too much. I wanted to go back on to the John video. He was talking about how he doesn't have a bunch of guns, and he spends his money on Glocks. So from about 1:41 into this video, he started talking about Glock. Why you should get a Glock, why not get a Glock, and it turned into a Glock video. And I think the video had so much potential to talk about spending money on some good, reliable gear. And you'll see we have a bunch of different holsters here. We have a gun belt set up. This isn't mine, this is Fenris's gun belt. And I understood what John was saying. There's a lot of reasons why people like Glock. And you'll see a lot of Glocks here. A lot of these are Fenris's. And pretty much the stuff over here that you guys are looking at now are training versions of a Glock. And so that's another thing to consider. You know, how easy it is to get an airsoft gun for the gun that you have. How easy is it to get a blue gun for the gun that you have so that you can practice skill sets and not be at the range for it. So one of the things that I wanted to address to you guys is caliber. So when you go out and you buy 10 different guns, for example, and they're all a bunch of different calibers, but you're a gun collector, then that's fine. But one thing to consider is, now you're having to buy ammo. So you're spending money on ammunition, in addition to all the guns that you purchased. And if you want to carry a holster, more than likely, in my experience, what ends up happening is you go out and you chintz on the holster that you're going to carry. Because you've already spent a ton of money on the gun, you've already spent a ton of money on the ammunition. And what people generally end up doing is going out, and I've seen this more than one occasion, it's crazy to me, they go out and buy the cheapest ball ammo they can at Walmart, and that's what they use for everyday carry. So instead of going out and getting something like this, which is a much better self-defense round, or even something like this, which is a standard issue law enforcement self-defense round, they're going out and getting full metal jacket ball ammo, which you would never want to use unless you had to in a self-defense situation because they don't know any better. So going on to the don't know any better, and I'll come back to some of this gear later. But one of the best things that I could suggest is train, train, train. Spend your money on training, guys. You don't need to spend all of your money on buying a bunch of different guns. Buy one gun. Okay, if you're just getting into it, buy one firearm. Get informed before you buy that firearm. Maybe go and take a class before you even purchase that firearm from a competent, licensed, or certified firearms instructor who's going to help you purchase that gun. Case in point, if you're a 5'1", 105-pound person and somebody's trying to sell you on a 10mm Glock, they probably did you a disservice. But you know what? They're at the gun store, and the gun store owner just got to sell a 10mm Glock to you. So go out and get some competent training. Spend your money on that competent training. Now that being said, training can get expensive. And I understand that. And since this is budget training tips, there's a few things that you can do. One, you can try and seek out local firearms instructors and see if you can set up group discounts with you, family members, your friends, so you guys can all go together. Or two, and I know we do this a lot in Savage Combatives, try and set up trade, where maybe you have a service or a product that you can offer that the firearms instructor would be willing to trade their time and instruction on helping you get set up in the industry, or get set up, you know, in this new passion that you have. If that doesn't work out for you and you're closer to the West Coast, and I'm sure there's things on the East Coast and the Midwest and the Central United States and stuff, but we're here in California, and not too far from us is Front Sight. So Front Sight, when you go on their website, all their stuff's really expensive, $2,000 to take a class. If you want to get a membership, some of the memberships go up to $25,000, but you can always find memberships for a lot less expensive if you look hard enough. And if you contact Front Sight directly, not just go on their website. Oftentimes you can find these memberships to these different places, Front Sight, Gun Sight, whatever, and you can oftentimes get unlimited training for the price of that initial investment. And sometimes the initial investment can be $2,000 or $1,000 or $20,000 or whatever the case is. But if we've seen the amount of guns that some of these people have, they have that wrapped up in the firearms anyways. So having a bunch of firearms and not knowing how to use them, not knowing how to carry them, not being comfortable with it, not having the proper gear, not having the proper ammunition, or having too much ammunition because you have too many calibers is just not budget friendly. And it doesn't make sense when it comes to training. So guys, the point of this video, and I'm going to go over a couple more things, but the point of the video really is go out and maybe buy 2 or 3 guns if that's what you really want to do. Or if you're going to take my suggestion, go out and buy a pistol, go buy a rifle, and go buy a shotgun, and get competent with all 3 of those. Because all of them have their strengths in different situations. And go out and get training, and go out and get a light attachment for your firearm if that's what you want to do, so that you can go out and do this low light training. And while you're taking a look at this, go out and invest in a good flashlight. You know, I carry a flashlight on me every day. Even when I go out during the daytime, I usually tuck a flashlight in my back pocket, and I have more than one just in case one of them fails or run out of batteries, a bulb blows or something like that. Again, think of it this way: your firearm is a tool. It's a self-defense tool, it's a protection tool, but your flashlight's also a tool. So go out, get the tools that are going to be for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Again, we're not talking to collectors here, and collectors are good, you're fine. But this video is the people that aren't necessarily the collectors. They're wanting to get into the industry, or they're already in the industry, and they think, hey, I have 10 or 15 guns, because man, that's better than 2 or 3. Well, we're here to tell you that get 2 or 3, okay? Get 1 pistol, 2 or 3 pistols at the most. Okay, get a rifle, get a shotgun, and get training on how to use those tools. Get accessories that are going to be suitable for those tools, whether it's a light or a good holster or something like that. So real quick, I told you guys this wasn't going to be another Glock cult video, and it's not, even though we got a bunch of Glocks on here. But I did want to talk about, if you guys are going to go out and buy a pistol, you're going to go out and buy a Glock 19, and this is an actual Glock 19, and you want to train with your Glock 19, and you want to do it in a safe manner, go out and get a Glock 19 airsoft gun. And a Glock 19 airsoft gun, you can practice your magazine exchange, and we have another video on this and some of our past budget training tips. You can go right into your garage and set up a little target and practice a lot of things: grip, presentation, movement. Pretty much some of the only things you can't practice are your recoil management, your follow through. So go out and get an airsoft gun. You can get a blue gun if you want, but essentially if you have an airsoft gun, you effectively have a blue gun. Something that moves, something that you can insert a magazine, do magazine exchanges. Go out and buy some of these airsoft pellets. They're not that expensive. Go out and get some green gas, and for less than what you would pay for an actual firearm, you can get a lot of really good quality training tools. And both of these are training tools for what you would have for your actual firearm. Okay? I'm a big fan that if you are a CCW holder and you're going to do the bulk of your training, you working around garments and from a concealed position, I don't think you should do all of your training from that. Do 80% or 70%, or choose a high percentage number and work from concealment, but go out and get yourself a gun belt so that in the event that there's total chaos and the crap hits the fan, you have your Batman belt. And you have tools that you can learn to work around where your magazines are at. And if you have less than lethal force devices, whether that's OC or baton or whatever it is, flashlights, handcuffs, if you're gonna carry a tool, train in the tool. Be proficient in the tool. Seek out the best people in the industry that can teach you about that tool. Ask questions. Don't take things at face value. If something doesn't make sense to you, ask the question. These guys are awesome. A lot of these guys in the industry are great. They have no problem saying, oh yeah, this is the reason why I did that. I was deployed and this happened and I saw this on several occasions and this is why I think this way and believe that way. Alright, so you're going to see a bunch of different types of holsters on here. I want to touch on that for a second. Most of the holsters that we have, that we carry, are fully Kydex holsters. Okay? Now you're going to see a bunch of things in the industry: leather holsters, nylon holsters, shoulder holsters. I think this is an ankle holster. But for the bulk of you guys, the biggest suggestion that I can make is get a good Kydex holster. One thing that's great about Kydex is it is going to have good retention. You're not necessarily going to see that in all leather holsters. Now, there's a whole group of people out there that hate hybrid holsters, and we'll talk about hybrid holsters here in a second. In fact, we'll do it right now. So here's a hybrid holster right here. Essentially, a hybrid holster, guys, is a holster that's Kydex or something on one side and leather on the back side. So some of the things we hear about hybrid holsters is that the leather breaks down over time. 100% true. You're going to have to replace them sooner than you replace your fully Kydex holster. 100% true. If 100% Kydex holster is not comfortable for you, and you've tried 3 or 4 of them, and you just end up not carrying your firearm because it's not comfortable for you, then it kind of defeats the purpose. So I'm a big fan, and I get this with my wife all the time. I'm a big fan of getting a holster. Get the best holster that you can buy that is the safest. You can deploy the easiest. It's not going to get destroyed if you get into a ground fight or a scuffle or something like that. And wear the most comfortable one for you. Okay, so this is a hybrid holster. It's fairly thick leather on the back, goes all the way up so the gun's not digging into you. And here we have it. Retention. Hear a little bit of a rattle, but the retention's there, guys. But not all, it's even hard to take out. Not all hybrid holsters have that great retention. You'll see this one, the leather's a little bit more worn out. It's not as thick. And you go to somebody and these clips are, they are what they are. Again, some people have a problem with clips. And here's what you're going to experience. Now, somebody made this for us. We don't go to this guy. He was just kind of starting off making Kydex. But here's what we have. Not good. So when you experience something like this and you see this, you say, well, all hybrid holsters are junk. Don't get hybrid holsters because that's what's going to happen. And that's certainly what happened with this one. Okay? And you can see that these clips were kind of made, and it was something the guy was experimenting with at the time. You can tell someone different made this. Okay? Junk, better quality. Okay, the leather is a lot more stiff. It's thicker leather, and the mold is significantly better. And the fact of the matter is the retention's there. All right, so we're going to look at this fully Kydex holster. We got a little nice soft pad on the back so that when it's sitting inside, it's not rubbing too bad. This is inside the waistband holster. It can take a light, and it can take an extra magazine. Spend money on some good gear, guys. This is a little bit of a magazine holder. Doesn't have clips. I know our friends at ISG don't like clips, and that's totally fine. So these things have really thick Kydex belt loops, so you put that right into your belt. And you know what, to be honest with you, I don't disagree with their assertion on clips. The fact of the matter is a lot of these things are plastic, and you get into a scuffle, that thing's good chance that thing's going to break. This is an alien gear holster. None of us use this. It is typically only used when we do training. Somebody shows up, they don't have gear of their own. Cool, no problem. We'll get you set up. We'll get you a little airsoft gun. We'll put something on. It's just so you have something. We don't want people to not be able to train while they're here. What other holsters we have? Here is a full-blown duty belt outside the waistband holster on a Sam Brown belt. I think it's probably, it looks like it's a Safari Land. This is the way my Safari Land works. And this will fit all of our Glocks. Or all of Josh's Glocks, really. It's got a little thumb release there. I actually really like holsters like that. But one thing I will say about Glock, that the reason why a lot of people like them is because a lot of these magazines can fit, these larger magazines can fit in everything. So here you are, you have a small firearm, and you know, it shouldn't be loaded, but that fits in there. Take it out. And you want to get a larger one, and that's going to fit in there. So I see the appeal, why people like Glocks. I don't carry a Glock every day. I carry a 6 Hour. That was issued to me, and I like it. I'm going to be getting the new P320, but again, I'm not trying to sell any particular gun or any particular ammunition. I'm just saying that if you're going to go out and carry the correct ammunition. If you're going to carry on you, carry a good quality, and in a lot of people's personal opinion, Kydex holster. There's a lot of junk Kydex out there. They're making really thin, small millimeter Kydex. They don't have the proper machines. We go to 951 Tactical, and he has all these machines. He's not just kind of pressing them down and waiting for them to cool off. He's got full-blown vacuum machines and everything, and the quality control there is absolutely amazing. And there's a lot of customization, so you can get these little tabs right here. Well, when you're carrying inside the waistband, it presses on your pants and carries closer to your body if you like that really, really tight fit to your body. So, you know, again, I'm not trying to sell any particular company. That's where we go. It's 951 Tactical. And like I said, one of the reasons is because I've been in law enforcement for 8 years. I've been in the military before then, 7 years before that. And I did some contract work, and I carried a bunch of different guns, including that piece of junk, the Beretta 92F that I carried in the Marine Corps, and a bunch of different holsters. And I like Kydex, and I like 951 Tactical Kydex. Real quick on this one, guys, this doesn't have a bottom. I guess this one doesn't either. Some of these have bottoms on them. But what's nice about these ones that don't have bottoms is you can take a full-size Glock and put it in there, and you can take a compact or a carry and put it in there, and you can take a subcompact and fit it in there. So what's nice about something that maybe doesn't have a bottom on it is that if you do have 3 or 4 guns, maybe you have a full-size gun that you take to the range, you like shooting that, and that's going to be your outside carry if the stuff hits the fan. But then you also got this small little subcompact. You can have the same holster that you're using. And trust me when I tell you, you want to be comfortable with your gear. So in addition to going out and getting training, don't just do videos, guys. Get it with a competent instructor. They're going to be able to actually see things from a third-party outside perspective of what you're doing wrong and tweak things, and they will make you a better shooter. They'll make you a good, competent instructor will. They'll just make you better overall. Things that you won't be able to get from videos. I'm not knocking videos. Videos are super entertaining. You can pick some stuff up, but they definitely don't replace an actual live instructor. Guys, I don't think I have anything else for this budget training tips video. I know we spent a lot more time on the training than we did on the budget, but overall it's going to save you a lot of money. If you're spending money and you're spending time gaining that experience to make yourself a person who's harder to kill. Tim Kennedy shot out right there, hard to kill. You know, and get good training. There's a ton of training out there, and there's the industry's oversaturated with instructors, but the really good ones aren't hard to find, okay? And they have a great reputation. Go out and find them, guys. We enjoyed doing this class with you. If you have any questions, post them in the comment section below. We appreciate you coming out and spending some time learning about this budget training tips video. And as always, guys, stay savage.
Home is solid.